Incumbent Republican Senator John Thune has won his 4th term in the U.S. Senate.
Thank you,
He's making
thank
an
you.
acceptance speech right now. Let's listen in.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. It's a privilege to be here tonight with all of you, and we just really, truly do want to say thank you for supporting our family, whether that's been on the campaign trail, walking door to door, handing out candy in a parade, stuffing envelopes, writing a check, or whether it's been through prayer or words of encouragement. It's been 26 years since our first election, and for that, we are grateful. Thank you. We are grateful to all of you, the voters and the constituents of the state of South Dakota, this extraordinary state that we get to serve, for continuing to put your trust in our Father's leadership in the United States Senate. The road isn't always easy. There are plenty of ups and downs in public service, but we are so thankful to have wonderful people that have been alongside us, both supporters and staff, who make this job possible. As you may have seen over the past month leading up to tonight, there were some hidden family talents uncovered through a series of commercials that featured Henley and Lucy. But the creative talent doesn't end there. My sister and I would like to share a poem that we penned before we hand the mic over to the real star of this evening. So Dad, this one is for you.
Today brings us back to a night in November, 26 years, a night we'll remember. The room was filled with red, white, and blue. We stood as a family cheering for you. I was 6 and Brittany was 8. We felt so much pride that you would represent our state.
Fast forward to today, we still feel the same way. We've always worked together as a team, traveling the state for parades, fairs, and everything in between. Despite your busy job, you've always made time to answer our calls. Problems big or small, you've been there beside us through it all.
Your faith informs your values and everything you pursue. You live by the words of your favorite scripture, reflecting kindness and integrity in everything that you do. From a small town Murdo boy to the current minority whip, you've done it all with humility, with character, never letting your true self slip.
We're so proud of you for putting our state and country first, not to mention you've broken the infamous Karl Mundt curse. From November 5th, 1996 to November 8th, 2022, we can't wait to see what else God has in store for you. We love you, Dad.
All right. Well, good evening, and thank you. Thank you to South Dakota. Thank you to the voters of our state for this great privilege and opportunity. It is the privilege and opportunity of a lifetime to be able to represent South Dakota in the United States Senate. And that's all because of the great people of this state. What keeps me motivated is the beauty of South Dakota, the plains, the beauty of the Black Hills. It's spectacular. It's a fabulous place to work, to live, to raise children. But what really makes this state tick, and what makes it special, is our people. And I'm grateful for all of you who have placed your trust in me again this evening to serve and to represent you in the United States Senate. Only in America, can an ordinary, average kid from Murdo, South Dakota have the opportunity to serve his state, his country. I do want a special thanks, of course, to the family here with me tonight. My wife, Kimberly, you all know, is our rock. She is the glue that holds it all together. And we have been partners in every endeavor, including our life in politics, for the past now 38 years. Our daughters, you just heard from, Brittany and Larissa. Anybody who knows me well, knows that our daughters are my pride and joy. And now, I got 2 great sons-in-law, Scott and Luke, and 5 great grandchildren. Maybe more? No? Okay. At least 5 grandchildren. And by the way, Lucy and Henley would have been here tonight, but it was past their bedtime. So I want to thank our campaign team, to Gus and Angel and Barb and Brock. We were lean and mean, but boy, they worked really hard. And I'm grateful for the job that they got done in helping us get across the state and make sure that we got our message out to the great people of South Dakota. And to my Senate team, I'm very blessed, folks. I have a team around me that's been around me for a long time, both here in South Dakota and in Washington, D.C., who are not only extraordinarily talented and just terrific professionals, but also really committed to being difference makers. They work hard every day. They deal with the issues that come through the door in our offices here in South Dakota and in Washington, D.C. And I am very, very fortunate to have the caliber of people serving us here in South Dakota, working as part of our team, both here in South Dakota and in Washington, D.C. Led, I might add, by Gettysburg native Ryan Nelson. So let me just say, and I know there's a lot of excitement in the room tonight. You're going to hear from a lot of people, and so I'll try and keep this brief. But as we think about the future, and what it holds for us here in South Dakota and what it holds for our country, there's a lot of challenge out there. And sometimes problems look big and they can seem and look overwhelming. But I will tell you that as I make decisions, as we face those challenges, I will make them obviously informed by, first and foremost, the people I represent, the people of South Dakota, as I always have. I will make those decisions also informed by that great team of advisors and circle that I have around me. And obviously also will make those decisions based on God's help, who I will turn to for wisdom every day. I think you know this by now, but I'm always going to level with you. I'm going to call them like I see them. And even when it makes people a little uncomfortable, maybe makes me a little unpopular, even when you don't agree with me, even if it makes you like me a little bit less, because I think policy is important. The policies for our country are important, but character is important. And truth, folks, is the ultimate principle. And I'm going to speak candidly with you at all times, as I always have, and hold up what I think is one of the most important qualities that we have and what separates and differentiates freedom-loving countries around the world, free societies, free countries. The foundation for that is truth. And we're going to keep speaking the truth. Now, and I will say just one other thing about that. I don't swear allegiance to any human being. I will take an oath in January to defend, support the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, so help me God. That's what the oath is going to say. And I will stay true to the Constitution, to the rule of law, and to the great people here in South Dakota. That is what animates me on a daily basis, and that will continue to be the place I will look, the source of my strength and foundation. Let me just very briefly mention, as I think about, kind of our state and its history, I can't help but think of my own family's history. When my grandfather arrived on the shores of America back in 1906, and they went through at Ellis Island, the given name wasn't Thune, it was Yelsvik. It was spelled G-J-E-L-S-V-I-K. A lot of consonants there. And the immigration officials thought it would be difficult to spell and pronounce for people in this country, and so they asked them to change their name. And they picked the name of the farm where they worked near Bergen, Norway, called the Thune Farm. And so Nikolai Yelsvik became Nick Thune in America. And he and my great uncle got out to my home area around Murdo and Jones County and went to work on the railroad. They were building the railroads, the transcontinental railroads across the United States. They worked on the railroad, they learned English, saved a little money, eventually started a small merchandising company, and eventually bought a hardware store in Mitchell, South Dakota called Thune Hardware. There's still a Thune Hardware in Mitchell, South Dakota. Family's not associated with it, but I always think of it as a symbol of my family's heritage. And when the Depression hit, they couldn't make two livings out of that hardware store, and so my grandfather got an opportunity to move back to my hometown of Murdo, and there he and my grandmother raised 3 sons in the middle of the Great Depression. All 3 of them joined the Navy, 2 of them served in World War II. My Uncle Gib was at Pearl Harbor when it was hit, December 7th in 1941. My dad was a fighter pilot who flew combat missions off of the USS Intrepid during World War II, during some of the great naval battles in the Pacific, battles like the Battle of Leyte Gulf. My grandfather came here because of the hope and the promise that is America. They'd heard about this shining city on the hill, and they had a dream of getting to a place like that where they could make their way and pursue their version of the American dream. And my father and his brothers fought and defended those freedoms at a time, an important moment in history when somebody almost succeeded in taking them away. But it was always looking to the future, always looking to that better opportunity, that better life, that next generation of Americans and what we're going to do to improve their plight and their standing in life. And you all know we featured our grandkids in our television commercials this year. And the reason we did that is because it is always, ladies and gentlemen, about the future. It's about the future. You know, we can learn from the past, we can remember the past, we can honor the past, we can be informed by the past, but in the end, it's always about the future. And so as we look to the future that's ahead of us as a nation, there are some difficult challenges. I'll be the first to say we live in a dangerous world. All you have to do is turn on the television or pick up a newspaper to realize that. We got people here, working families across South Dakota, have been crushed under the weight of inflation and the economic impact that's having on their budgets and their pocketbooks. We have important, critical questions that divide the country. Questions like, when does life begin? Those are issues that we're going to be fighting over. And we can have fierce convictions, and I do, and believe me, I have strong convictions, I think, as you know, on a whole range of issues. But at the end of the day, we've got to resolve our differences at the ballot box. And every even-numbered year in November, going back for a couple centuries, we have elections. And we have an opportunity to set a new course and to chart a new vision, a different vision for the future of this country. And that's what this is about tonight. All across the country, people are voting. They're voting on issues that they care deeply about and passionately about. And we need to make sure that as we step up to the plate and provide leadership, that we are always focused on that future, on that dream, on that hope, on that promise that was the inspiration for my grandfather to get on a boat in Norway and come to the United States. Ronald Reagan once said that freedom is always only one generation removed from extinction. It can't be passed on in the bloodstream. It has to be fought for and defended and handed down for our children to do the same, or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and grandchildren what it was once like to live in the United States of America where men were free. Freedom, democracy, we can't take them for granted, folks. Every generation has to do its part to fight and to defend and to continue to build that on that foundation that our founders gave us, that matchless Constitution, to make this country even stronger and to provide a better and a safer and a stronger and more prosperous future for future generations of Americans, and I say tonight, to future generations of South Dakotans. Thank you. God bless you, and may He continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
There you've been listening to U.S. Senator John Thune giving his acceptance speech as he was reelected to his 4th term in the U.S. Senate. He talked about what a great place South Dakota is, a place to live and raise a family. He talked about being very candid with his constituents and his viewers tonight. And he talked about going to the ballot box to resolve our differences and that freedom and democracy cannot be taken for granted.